How are you, Jack?
I'm good. It was a beautiful day yesterday in Paris and it started raining, but I'm happy
Did you
to be
have fun?
here. I had a great time. I love this city.
Very good, very good. So, Jack doesn't need any introduction, I guess. But Jack invented Twitter, so we're really, really honored to have you here, making the trip. And what I'd like to come back to is not everyone knows how you got the idea of Twitter. And that is something when you told me the first time I was really shocked, because generally as an entrepreneur, when you have an idea, or many people try to have a revolutionary idea, they really want to have an idea. And they don't have it. You see what I mean? They have it by chance, kind of.
Yeah.
Can you tell the story?
Well, it took a long, long time. When I was 15 years old, I became fascinated by how cities work, specifically Manhattan, and I just fell in love with maps, and I was obsessing over maps, and I taught myself how to program so I could put a map on the screen. And then I taught myself how to put dots on the map, and then I taught myself how to move the dots around. And suddenly I had this gorgeous map with all these moving dots, and I thought it was the most amazing thing in the world, but the dots had no meaning whatsoever. So I sought out some meaning, and I found dispatch. I found taxis, I found 911 services, emergency, and I found public databases that tracked their locations. So suddenly I had some meaning for my dots, but more importantly, I had this very rich picture of what was happening in Manhattan right now, in St. Louis. And in 2000, I realized that there was one missing piece of that, and it was the citizens, it was my friends. So I tried to build a system like Twitter in 2000 with a BlackBerry and email. And I was the only one using it, and it turned out that none of my friends were interested in what I was doing.
What was your pitch? Like, can you sell it to me in 2000?
Yes.
What would you tell your friends?
Well, I told my friends that I'll be sending my emails. I'll sending these emails to this service as I'm walking around the park, and they'll be going to you in real time. And they were like, no, I don't want that. Stop. So that didn't work out. And in 2006, I was working at a company called Odeo with my co-founders Biz Stone and Evan Williams, and it was a podcasting company, and we were looking at SMS, and SMS was getting really, really big in this country, in the US at that time. And we were looking at group communication and how to fit podcasting into group communication. And the idea came up again, and we were given 2 weeks to work on it, and we made it happen, and that was it.
But so, you were obsessed by the idea. You told me once that you knew it would be huge.
Yeah, I knew the concept was huge because I saw it in all of my work since I was 15. I got into dispatch from that work. I stayed in dispatch until about 2000, and then I got into medical devices, saw the same concept. The concept being short format messages and publish, subscribe in real time. And you can use this for dispatch, you can use this for vertical industries, you can use it for friends, and you can use it for social movements.
So I guess you would tell probably the room that if they have an idea and all your friends say, no, don't do it, keep going, right?
Keep going if you love it. Always have a plan B, always have something else to work on. But it's the hardest thing about any idea is getting started, and that is the most important thing as well.
One more thing about Twitter, because we'll move on to your next startup, which is very impressive. But what was your expectation? Did you ever expect? So you were saying all your friends were saying no, we won't use that. But what was your expectation in terms of how big it would be? Because Twitter is growing in a very impressive way. Yeah. Did you ever think you would have like the entire room here on Twitter?
Well, no. Like we were talking about earlier, I knew the concept was big, but the velocity that it's taken was very surprising. But the most surprising thing is how the users are constantly redefining it every single day. They're making it their own. Most of the features that you see in Twitter today did not come from me, it did not come from the company, and that's including the biggest features, which are @replies, mentions, retweets, hashtags. These all came externally to the company and from our users. So that was the most surprising thing, is that people adopted this technology and just made it their own, and they use it in a variety of different ways.
Very impressive graph, really. As you know, kind of excited about it. So it's also how you got the idea of a new company. How did you start Square?
Yeah, so as we were going on with Twitter, you know, there's three concepts that really emerged from what Twitter is for me personally, and that is immediacy, approachability, and transparency. I think Twitter does a very good job at bringing these three concepts to the world and to organizations, and it makes everything a little bit more human. And there's two other industries in particular which I think are in dire need of this, and this is healthcare and the financial world. Healthcare is very interesting in the US because there's so much contention right now, but it's going to take about 2 years before we can really get in and create something interesting. But the financial world is amazing right now because there's been this clearing of the slate. And you know, someone can step in and do something pretty interesting because a lot of these organizations, a lot of these industries are looking for smaller, more innovative ideas. So there's an opportunity right now to create something very cool. So we looked at we looked at the field, and my co-founder is a glass artist, and he sells things that people don't need. He sells $2,000 glass faucets. No one needs that in their house, but they're beautiful. And what he found is if he could not take a credit card payment, he would not make the sale because no one carries $2,000 of cash with them, and no one carries their checkbooks anymore. So we started looking into why it was so difficult to receive credit card payments. It's very, very easy to pay with these things. 90% of the US has moved to them in the form of credit cards or prepaid cards or debit cards. But accepting them is very difficult. So we figured out a way to get people in and accepting credit cards in under 10 seconds, and we're calling it 10 seconds. And we're calling it Square. And the great thing, going back to Twitter, is we were able to launch the entire company with 99 characters, one tweet, and that generated 154 news articles.
So your friends said it would work this time, or not?
This one's a little bit more. This one's easier to explain than Twitter was. Twitter was a little bit more abstract. So I'd love to show you.
Sure, charge me anytime, Jack.
So
you might just want that we set up a camera.
Absolutely. Okay. So we're starting on the iPhone and the iPod Touch. The iPod Touch specifically because it's this really nice general purpose computer that you can buy for $200 in the US, and you have everything you need. So we're calling the application Square, and you can start it up, and you can take credit card payments here. So I can take $3. I can put in a note. I can take a picture of what I'm selling or who I'm selling to.
You might want to wait because we don't have it on screen. Here we go.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, can you show it again, Jack?
All right, so I just put in $3 here. I can type in a note here. I can take a picture of what I'm selling or who I'm selling to. I can start typing in the credit card number, and we've tried to make this as fast as possible, but this is the second friction point of taking these card payments is entering in the damn number. So we try to figure out ways to speed that up, and we looked at the camera, taking a picture of your credit card with the iPhone camera and doing an OCR on it, but that seems really sketchy, so we said no to that. We looked at this iPod dock, which is great, but it limits us to the iPhone platform. So the only other port on this thing is a headphone jack, and this happens to be a mic in and audio input. And it turns out that this particular piece of hardware is on BlackBerries, it's on Android phones, it's on your MacBooks out there, it's on desktop PCs, so it's everywhere. So we built this little piece of hardware, and we're calling it a Square.
Before you keep going, Jack, the other Jack who listens to me, we should put back all the screens up so that everybody sees better. So no offense, take down the Twitter stream and show us on the other screens as well. But keep going, Jack.
All right, so this is a self-powered swiper. It's powered by the magnetic resistance of the swipe itself. It translates it to an audio signal, and then the phone picks it up, and software interprets the swipe itself. So I can just plug this in, and now I have a credit card swiper. So I wanted to.
How expensive is that to build?
We're gonna build these. It's going to be fairly cheap. We're going to give these away for free. So we're trying to give these away for free and just give them to everyone.
What do you mean give them to everyone? Like, how do I get it?
Well, you'll be able to hopefully buy. You'll be able to hopefully get one in a retail store or go to our website and just put in your address and we'll ship you one.
Okay, cool.
So I promised to charge Loic some money. So I was going to charge. I don't know if you.
Well, so Jack, you have to know, has how many followers on Twitter? Don't tell me you don't know.
Over 1 million.
Here we go. And you asked how much he should charge me, so that's very scary. I saw a lot of replies. Thank you very much. So I don't know. You know, it's your call.
So I think 10,000 is a really
sure.
Good
That's gonna be. It's a pleasure to have you as a guest. Sure. No,
no,
go ahead.
We'll go with. There's actually a charity water. We're going to give this to charity. One feature of the application is that we're giving a penny of every transaction to a charity. The default is going to be charity water, and we'll charge Loic $37 for a charity water campaign that's going on right now. There's a bunch of other charities that you can choose from, including Eric Lammerding's charity is called Not for Sale. I think he's somewhere in the audience. We're going to add that as an option. That's a great charity. So I'm going to charge Loic $37. Well, 37. And I'm just going to...
Here we go. So you have it on... Put it on the...
Take your
here
card.
We go.
Okay.
Right, take my card.
And I just swipe away. And that one didn't work. And that one didn't work. Here we go. What's going on with this card? Or? I might be going too fast. Hold on.
You don't take French cards?
I do take French cards. Do not discriminate. Yep.
That's interesting. Geraldine, if you hear me, can you bring me my other credit cards?
There we go. Okay.
Did you charge me 10 times?
I wasn't.
So show the iPhone, yeah.
Evidently, I wasn't doing it fast enough. Okay, so now it's going up and it's trying to authorize the card.
Just for Jack, for you guys to know, we of course tried this before and it worked perfect the first time.
And it worked the first time.
So even someone like Jack Dorsey, the demo effect, right? So what's happening now?
And now we're seeing the demo effect again because now we're hitting some network latency.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna try this one more time. This has to work.
Here we go.
I should charge you more just for this. Amazing.
Do we have another credit card for me?
Okay.
There we
go.
Here we go.
We're
now
authorizing.
let the Wi-Fi gods be with us. This is using the same network as you are using, so of course you must be streaming like crazy.
Maybe I should turn the Wi-Fi off and go to orange.
Try that. Let's do one more time.
Okay, so...
Try that. Shut down the Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi is off. All right, so in the case of no network, this would also work. We have an offline mode, but when we do have network, it should just send it up, and I can't believe that the swipe is even failing so much.
And of course, it worked perfectly well in the backstage.
All right.
Okay, so this is a prize. Now we're on Orange network.
There we go. Okay.
Oh, here you go.
Your Wi-Fi. All right.
Orange, thank you very much for Jack. That worked pretty well. Okay, good.
So one of the features that we wanted to show is you can go to the website and actually put a picture up of your face to verify that you are indeed the payer. So anytime that you use this card on a Square merchant or a Square user, a picture of Loic's face will come up. So I can verify that he is actually the payer, and then he can just sign with his finger.
Don't move. I'll do it here. I'll actually move around. Let's try this. This is a minimal version of my signature. And if I'm not happy with it?
You can shake it.
Really?
You can shake it away.
Oh. Okay, try again then.
And then we just hit continue. And it's processing, so now it's actually capturing the funds from the card. So before it was just authorizing the amount on the card. And we're giving out email and SMS receipts. So right now we're just doing an email receipt. So I do email receipt or no receipt. And since Loic has already paid with Square, it remembers his last email address that he used. So I can just hit send, and it's sending a receipt, and it should be arriving in your inbox shortly. And then as soon as this process finishes, it says a very simple thank you, and I can take a new transaction. And that is Square. That was also, by the way, the worst demo I've ever given.
Yeah, no, I know. You've given me many demos. So what is this? We can see this in San Francisco somewhere already.
Yeah, so we have
and it works perfect, of course.
It does work elsewhere, except in Paris. We have a limited beta right now, and we're trying with a bunch of different people, a bunch of different profiles of folks in New York City, San Francisco, LA, and St. Louis, Missouri. So one of our folks has a flower cart. There's a coffee retailer. There's a denim retailer. There's piano teachers. There's flight instructors. We think this can be used by everyone, anywhere from a major retail store like Apple, which is doing mobile retail and going to the point of sale and charging right there, all the way down to selling your couch on Craigslist or getting paid back for the dinner that you owe me.
Right, I owe you a very, very nice dinner. I think Mike has a... Mike, hi. Yeah, just wait, I'll put it up. So Mike Harrington, TechCrunch. Yeah, don't touch anything, I'll put it up.
Hello?
Here we go.
There you go.
Hey,
Hi, Mike.
morning. Jack, one of the things I love about this service is that every time you demo it, you get paid, and you claim it's going to charity, which I have no reason not to believe you. But I actually do wonder, how much money have you collected from demos over the last 6 months? I think you got $5 out of me, which I heard was on the low end of what you charge.
That is on the low end. It's been the best company ever to demo. I've taken over $650 all in. And we've been working on it since February. I charged a few VCs $25 for the pitch, which is good.
When do you think people, at least in the US, will be able to download the application? You'll be out of live beta.
We're shooting for March. We want to do early next year. So we have a limited beta so that we can really learn quickly. Our business is really risk and fraud. We need to manage the fraud aspects. We need to manage the security. We need to manage the risk. So we're building a team to do that and to write software to expose all the activity in real time so we can tell if anything is going wrong. And the interesting thing about this device and all these new mobile devices is we have so much information. So as I was taking the transaction, we were tracking the location. We're tracking how much the phone is shaking. We're tracking the signature. We're tracking the swipe. So we have a lot of information to protect the transaction and protect both parties of the transaction.
Can I ask one more question?
Sure, go ahead.
In the Apple stores in the U.S., they recently moved from some old clunker mobile payment device. Because in the U.S., we really don't have wireless payment devices like they do in Europe at the restaurants here. Anyway, they had something. I think it was actually Microsoft driven. But in the last couple of months, all the Apple stores have moved to an dedicated iPod. I think it's an iPod Touch device with a wrapper on it they're swiping credit cards on. And it's clear they're productizing this. To me, it seems clear that they're going to start selling this directly competing with you. When did you first hear about that? What are your thoughts on it? Are you worried about it at all?
We heard about it when everyone else heard about it. And Apple before was using a system called Symbol Technologies and Windows, and have fortunately moved to their own hardware and have built this custom solution to swipe credit cards. But they're not only swiping credit cards, they're also doing inventory management, they're doing upsell, they're doing AT&T iPhone activations, all from this one device. So we're just focused on the payment experience. We'll have an API which allows us to get into the workflow like Apple so that you can build in your inventory system, you can build in QuickBooks, you can build in all these other things. But right now our focus is purely on the consumer aspect of taking payments and taking credit cards and making that very, very easy. So our main business is really getting people in immediately without a merchant account, without contract fees, without any of that stuff. Apple might be productizing the hardware and the software aspect, certainly, but the real business here for us is just getting people in and participating.
Very good. Anyone wants like an interview, any blogger of Jack, raise your hand. We'll just take appointments for you. So if you want to meet Jack to get, ask him a few questions, we have like, 100 people here. So no, my point was Jack is going to be here until the end of the web.
Yeah.
You will actually be on stage again at the Gilmore Gang and throughout the event. So we really, appreciate you being here and also letting the opportunity of everyone to discuss with you and inspire us. Especially what I will recall is like when people tell you not to create because you will fail and the idea sucks, that could make things like Twitter, so don't listen to them, just do it. Jack,
Absolutely.
thank you very much.
Thank
really.
you very much.
Please help me.
Thanks for having me.
Jack.